I would first like to thank Pastor Sexton for the opportunity to share my testimony. As he said, my name is Kayla Hess, and I grew up on an Indian reserve in Ontario, Canada. And I grew up in a Christian home, which is not very, common on the Indian reserve, just because Christianity is not the accepted religion, because we do have our own traditional and specific beliefs that most of the people follow. My parents were saved early before they were married, and when they were saved, they decided that they wanted to have a Christian home. So I'm very thankful for that, just because it's really not something that's common, and I had the opportunity to go to a Christian school, and just different opportunities. I saw the Lord working now, and it's just so amazing how he does that. And I was saved when I was about 8 years old. I had made a profession of faith when I was 5, and I remember I was just really scared to go to hell, and so I prayed a prayer. And after that, I knew I was missing something. I knew I didn't do something right. And so the Lord really burdened me as a young person. I knew there was something missing in my life, and I knew I was a sinner. I was always very aware that I was a sinner, and there are many times I can remember begging God for forgiveness and just trying to be the best behaved child I could have possibly been, and going to school and obeying my parents and trying to do everything right. And I remember one time when I was about 8 years old, I went to my parents and I told them, I don't think I'm saved. It was right after I got baptized, and I had to fill out a card that requested the date of your salvation. And I couldn't give a specific date, and I knew right then and there, I knew I was not saved. And so just through that circumstance, the Lord just showed me that I truly needed to be saved, and I needed to trust him, and I wasn't doing that, and I needed to trust that he could forgive my sins, and that he was the only way that I could be saved, and he was the only way I could spend my eternity with him. And so I did that, and just after that, the Lord really worked in my life. I was able to attend a Christian camp when I was 17 years old, and I had resurrendered my life to the Lord at that point, and I said, Lord, whatever it is you want me to do, I'll do it. I really had no idea what that would mean. And when I was 19 years old, I ended up coming to Crown here, and I had previously been accepted to a school for journalism, so those were my plans, and it's definitely not what the Lord had for me, and I'm so thankful that he did send me here. I had so many opportunities. My first summer I was able to travel with a traveling group, and the Lord really stretched me then. And I was able to go to Lake Texoma Baptist Youth Camp and be a camp counselor there my second summer. And the Lord really gave me more of a burden for my people while I was there. We had a Native American week, and I led a little girl. Her name was Army. She was a Navajo, and I led her to the Lord, and I remember just thinking, wow, that's amazing. This is what I should be doing every day for the rest of my life. And I remember thinking, there are so many other people on the different reserves throughout North America who need the Lord, and I was just really burdened about it. And then I was able to go the following semester to England, and it was there that the Lord gave me another burden, and he really opened my eyes to how I was so stuck with this idea that the Lord just wanted me to be in my own country and on my reserve sharing the gospel. And I was so closed-minded to so many things, and it was there where the Lord just showed me, every person is going to spend their eternity somewhere. It's not just your people. And I was convicted, and I was able to, through England, meet so many different people, and there were the travelers there at Oxford that I was able to spend some time with and just get to know them and their way of life, and it reminded me a lot of my own. And once again, the Lord was just burdening me for the different areas there, and it was really amazing how the Lord brought every single one of these circumstances. I can see it now. When I was in those circumstances, I didn't really understand it, but I can see now how every single thing that has happened in my life has been for this moment, for me being here, for me learning and training, and it's just been so amazing how the Lord has worked in my life, and I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for this church and for the school. I honestly don't know where I would be if the Lord hadn't allowed me to spend my time here, so thank you all for listening.